Hey guys, this is Terex from Starcraft 2 TerranStrategies.com, and this video is going to be for newer players who are looking to customize their options a little bit to help them get a little more out of the game and learn how to play better. So first we're going to go into menu and go to options, and this is where you have all your different options available. Now we're going to start at graphics. I would suggest keeping them all to low unless you have a really nice computer. But one thing you want as high as possible is effects. Having this effects as high as possible will help you see moving burrowed units like roaches and infestors that are moving around underground. This is without detection. You can see a little cloudy spot, and if you have the effects turned up, it's a little darker and easier to see. So I'd highly recommend you do that. I haven't found any other settings to make much of a difference on cloaking or anything like that. Next we're going to go to controls, and mouse sensitivity is pretty important. The settings I use are 6 of 11 on my Windows control panel. There's actually 11 little bars that you can choose, and I put it on number 6. And then I put this around 54%, and that gives a nice smooth mouse cursor for me. Next, you can disable the Alt-Tab shortcut or the Windows key if you're hitting buttons like crazy and you hit the Windows key and it takes you out of the game. That's obviously bad, so you can disable that if you have that problem. And if you do run on Windows mode, you're going to want to confine the cursor, because if you move your mouse cursor off the screen and onto your second monitor, for example, then it's not going to scroll, it's just going to move the mouse, and if you click, it's going to exit the game or click on something else in Starcraft. So I would definitely have that on. Now gameplay, this is the big one. Show unit status bars, you want this on always when you're playing the game, because this will let you see your opponent's units and your units and what their health is like. So if your opponent's units, say you have a fight going and one of your opponent's units is really weak, you can target him out and try and kill him off. Or maybe one of your guys is weak and you need to pull him out of there. So this will just make it so you can see all the health bars. Next, show flyer helper. I would set this to always. This will just make it so you can see flying units. You can actually see where they are on the ground. So if you need to target an AoE like an EMP or a psionic storm, you know where to cast that spell in order to hit the flying units, because it can be a little difficult the way the camera's set up if you don't have that on. If smart camera pan is checked, I would uncheck that. That makes it so you can skip around the map much easier. I would check display build grid, turn this on so you can see as you're building your buildings, it'll bring up a little grid around it. It'll make walling off and building your base a little easier. Reduce violence, doesn't matter. Alright, next, menu bar mode. I like to have this unclickable. The menu bar is the little bar up here when you're playing a game. If you're clicking around and you accidentally click that bar, it'll bring up a menu while you're playing a game. It's probably going to be an intense moment. You just don't want that to happen. So I would turn that to unclickable. If you do need to access the menu bar, you can just use the hotkeys, and it actually says what the hotkeys are. Control groups, I just keep at normal. I turn alerts on. Show game timer is very important to have on. It's the little timer over here right above your minimap, and it will help you know, especially if you're trying to execute a build order and you're trying to build your 3rd and 4th barracks right around 8 minutes. That way you can see when it's 8 minutes, oh yeah, I need to build my 3rd and 4th barracks. So it's just a little reminder, and it can be really helpful. Other than that, the last one I would change is display command hotkey text. I believe by default this is off, but I would highly recommend you turn it on. So when you bring up, say you click on a barracks and it has your units over here, Marine, Marauder, Reaper, and Ghost, it'll actually have a big A on the Marine button. So even if your mouse is up here, you can just look down and you can see, oh, to make a Marine I need to hit A. And that'll help you memorize the hotkeys, which are very important. You need to know your hotkeys. So having this on will just help you memorize them faster and get used to them. So that's pretty much it as far as the options go. Everything else is, really your choice. So I hope this helps you out, and I'll talk to you soon.